Hey gamers, if you like pattern building and tile laying in a head-to-head battle, then you want to check out Confusing Lands. Let's take a look at how this one plays. In this game, two players are competing to build the highest scoring landscape. There is one shared scoring objective that starts out in the center of the table, so both players know exactly what they're working toward there. Each round, players will draw 2 cards each, and they will draft one into their landscape and pass the other one to their opponent, which they must use in their landscape. So I might start off with this one and pass the next one, and then maybe my opponent kept one of these and passed me this one. Every time that you add a new card to your landscape, you must cover at least one of the squares on a previously placed landscape, and you must always make sure that you are not covering any scoring objectives that you've placed face up in your landscape, and everything has to be a full grid. You can't partially cover anything like that. Players can choose what side to use of these cards, so they can either put more scoring objectives in their landscape or just use the various symbols that are on the cards. At the end of the game, they will score all of their landscape scoring objectives that are inside their landscape as well as the one that is shared, but then they will lose 10 points for each scoring objective that is in their landscape, not for the shared one. So they do have to balance that a little bit there with putting more scoring objectives inside of their landscape. Players can also add in the promo pack, which will give them access to spaces that have double symbols as well as new scoring objectives that look at another player's landscape instead of their own. I liked this one a lot from the start. I was kind of surprised at how much I liked it right away, but it was really fascinating. The card play was so smooth of how you just placed and passed and placed and passed, but it worked really, really well. And I thought that even with just the 2 sides of each card and there are only 6 spots on each side, everything felt like you had a lot of options when you were working toward your goals. And I really like how that balance works of choosing whether to put more scoring objectives in your landscape, knowing that you'll lose 10 points from them. So you need them to score at least 11 points in order for them to be worth anything. So that feels very interesting as well. And I think that there's a lot of light strategy in there, which works well with the luck, of course, of drawing cards and not knowing exactly what you're going to see. I like that you don't use every card every game as well. One is always a scoring objective, and one stays at the bottom of the deck. So you're never going to see every card, which is also very interesting, and you never know what you're going to draw. And I really, really like the promo pack as well. I thought that the scoring objectives on that were really neat, looking at the other player's landscape instead of your own, because if you draw one of those, you really have to decide if it's worth taking, if somebody has something good in theirs, or if you don't want to pass it because it's going to score really well for them based on what you've built. So I really like that balance there as well. Those are very cool, and the double symbols can be really cool too on those promo cards as well. But overall, I think that if you like kind of simple tile laying, pattern building kind of card games, and especially for 2 players, this is an amazing choice. So you can check out my full thoughts on the blog today to see if this one's for you.